Bag E is mostly shock parts. I believe it's all shock parts. I noticed that the cartridges are pre-built. Bodies, little hardware, retainer clips, balls, shocks, 32.5 weight oil, little dowels. But the cartridges are built already. I'm having a hard time with that. As nice as it is to have the cartridge built already, I'm gonna have to disassemble that and get some grease around those O-rings, or at least disassemble one and make sure there's grease around those O-rings. If there's not, I'm not sure even how well they may be built without grease. I'm pretty sure they're going to leak at some point, so I just wanted to check that out. But yeah, start the shock assembly.
Team Baxter.
So here's the cartridge. I'm going to get this torn apart and see what it's looking like on the inside. So it's the standard shock setup: 2 silicone O-rings, a spacer, and a cap. Not a lick of grease in there. I don't know for what reason they didn't grease them up, but I'm going to go ahead and grease mine just to be on the safe side, as that's what I do with all my RCs, and hopefully I won't have a problem. I am using green slime. This is made for shock building. I use this in all my shocks with great success. Seems to slow or eliminate most of all leaks, so I'll continue using it. So I got the cartridges rebuilt with green slime. They're done, all 4 of them, and put back together. These shocks go together a little bit different than this style that I've seen before. They ask you to poke the shaft through the cartridge and then attach the piston. I've already put the rod ends on. Not the easiest rod ends to put on because there's no flat spot to hold the shaft still, so unless you got a good grip, the shaft's going to spin. But the rod went on kind of easy, not the hardest rod to put on. Plastic went in pretty good. But you push the cartridge through the shaft. It's all the extra green slime, and then you attach these pistons after it goes onto the cartridge. The pistons go on with 2 E-clips, one on each side. Kind of hold it there. So I'm going to get all the pistons on right now and get the E-clips on. Also, I'm going to get these balls into the appropriate holes. You have 2 sizes of balls here. The balls with no flange go on the smaller, and the balls with the large flange go on the larger shocks. Also, there's 2 different pistons. One piston has 3 holes and the other piston has 1 hole. The pistons with 1 hole go into the shorter shock set, and the pistons with the 3 holes go into the larger shock set. So I got the cartridges on the shafts and I got the pistons on, and now I'm going to get these O-rings into the adjusters. These O-rings slip right down in there. I use a little bit of silicone grease to just lube things up and keep things moving freely. After that, put the caps on, and then I'll start to fill the bodies with oil and get them sealed up. Here's the bodies. This little top piece fits under this green cap, and They get filled from the bottom and seals screwed down. It's time to fill the shocks. I've got the pistons against the cartridge like the manual suggests. I'm gonna forego the 32 weight oil that is provided in the kit. I'm gonna go with 35 weight oil in the front and 45 weight oil in the back. I have no idea why. I just know what I want to do with this vehicle, and I think this is a better option than going with the 32.5 that the kit provides. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill them and then get the springs and the retainer clips on. So the shocks are complete. They're all in working condition, and now they're ready to be installed onto the chassis. So I'm going to put the front ones on first. Pretty simple installation. There is no screw at the bottom of the front shocks, so it's basically tapping down into the plastic, and the rear are just a post mount the same way. These front ones get a little ball end that goes over top of the screw that's there right now. Get one on each post, and then the shock itself goes right over that. The end goes into the rocker in the open slot, and the screw goes right in there. And that gets screwed right down into the rocker. As for the back, it goes down over the ball and then just gets one nut over the end of the post. Tighten that down with a little cross wrench. Do the same to the other side, and then move on to the rear. So I got the front shocks installed, and now moving on to the rear shocks. It's pretty much the same installation. You get one of those little ball end covers over the post, and then the shock mounts right onto that. The bottom of the shock goes into the arm. There's a screw that goes through this arm, and then there's a ball on the end of that screw that connects to the sway bar linkage. So it'll be a little hard to get this done on camera, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it and then show you what it looks like. So I got the shocks on, and that completed the chassis build. The shocks really gave the chassis some life. Looks more complete now. There's not much more left except for the roll cage and actually putting the body panels on, little figure, some interior details, and putting the wheels and tires on. And the twin hammers will be close to done. But the shock assembly finishes up Bag E.